episode of Chopping It Up, American New Network. Download, share, tell everyone about it. Number one trending. Even when we not live, we still the number one trending. We told you that we're outside. I'm Greg G, Relate to Great. Of course, we got in the building today as like always, the mogul, the icon, the one and only, Dane. And of course, we got one of the best barbers on the face of this earth, Jarson Garcon. We're back in it again for another episode of Chopping It Up. Of course, you know, today is that day, man. We got a lot to discuss. But first and foremost, you know, we want to send our condolences. R.I.P. to OJ. You know, we lost a good one. Well, we lost another one this week. You know, regardless of what you may think about it, he was a hell of a football player, man. On that gridiron, he was tough. What
yeah,
you say, Dan?
It's like with OJ, it's a gray area for me, so I don't really know exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you go by how he got convicted, then he's innocent.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in the public court, and especially in civil court, he was guilty.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, I guess you just have to appreciate the memory of what he did good.
Yeah.
And the gray areas, you just have to leave that alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I remember when he was on trial, and at the end of the day, it was like, whether he was guilty or not, we just wanted him to win.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it just always seems like they just overdo it, or like what the symbolism is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of just taking a black man and having him fall from grace.
Mm-hmm.
But what I notice is that the whole world likes to see anybody fall from grace.
Facts.
So, like I said, you see the Harvey Weinstein situation, that wasn't a black thing.
Yeah.
I just think in the public, if it's dangerous being really famous, because once you get really famous for doing good things, you can get way more famous and people, will pay more attention. Mm-hmm. If someone that people used to like, they don't like anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like when you turn a hero, a perceived hero, mm-hmm. into a villain. Mm-hmm. Like, look what's going on with, everybody. Yeah. From a Kanye to a Puff to a Harvey Weinstein to anybody. Anyone that was famous, the minute they fall on any kind of bad times, mm-hmm. and I can say this because I've gone through it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just weird because, I just think God loves me because when I was going through my perceived problems, there was no internet, yeah. And there wasn't these, outlets where people could make little documentaries about you and make jokes and memes, mm-hmm. and all those things. So it was almost like God, it's almost everything that's going on, I'm thanking God that the path that I went, mm-hmm. like I almost want to thank everyone that bothered me because they made it where I couldn't be around them. Yeah. And now I can't get caught up in all the bullshit. Yeah. Like if you've been perceived to be winning for the last 10, 15 years, and then you get here and lose everything, yeah. and then everyone found out you cheated, it's not worth that run to me. You know what I mean? I'd rather go through it, and it's not a long period of time, mm-hmm. So, sometimes when someone robs you, and you can't be around them anymore because they robbed you, mm-hmm. you gotta thank them because they're usually doing some bigger, worse bullshit that you could catch the recourse of or the karmic repercussions of. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So I'm like thanking everybody. Like everyone that I don't like, thank you for being so obvious about your bullshit that I can never get coerced or tricked or conned into being around something that would compromise me or my integrity, mm-hmm. or the way my children would look at me or any one of those things.
Or that guilty by association narrative.
Damn, he's still there. That's a mosquito? No. Oh. I just don't want this shit to bite me. But a lot of interesting things are going on. Now, last week, we was talking about how I didn't understand why j.cole apologized. Mm-hmm. And this week, I ain't gonna lie. Again, I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. I look at hip-hop as a sport, and I am a fan. I'm talking on hip hop, not on no gossipy shit, just as a fan.
Yeah.
And also a guy that is an ex-warrior of battling and rap, or being a part of crews where Titans rap. You know, again, we had a lot of wars, even, like Beanie against the Locks, and that's what it was. Hip hop, for real hip hop heads, like the real ones, or at least that category, battling is part of it. You're not even getting no respect unless you battle, as long as you keep it to the lyrics. So, J.Cole apologized. I didn't know why, and it doesn't seem like it's being well received, but I ain't gonna lie. Drake came back through. Rick Ross came back through. It is up. And I'm loving hip hop right now. And now I just heard Kendrick Lamar just came back, pause. And first of all, I feel like Kendrick Lamar might have saved hip hop by starting World War III of hip hop. You know what I mean? It needed a war. But again, a lyrical war. And I got to give Drake his kudos, because after his man said sorry, J. Cole, he went hamburger on everybody. He's fighting the world. But he's up for the challenge. I ain't mad. You can't be mad.
Yeah, I respect that.
It's a good fight.
Warrior. That's a warrior to me.
But also the fact that Kendrick Lamar triggered them with one verse to make people make songs and albums. And, Kendrick saying some slick shit. He said that shit. I made a nigga quit, and then after say a word, doing the white top.
Yeah, now I gotta clap the other one.
I gotta kill. Shit got to go. I don't want to overkill it. Be stupid and break the whole shit with my hand. Right? This shit got to go. All right. That's a quick, slow motherfucker, ain't he? Yeah. But there you go, right there. There you go. You got him. Line him up. Bang. Shut him down. You got him. Right.
See, you got to wait.
Man, another rubber glove. Now you have to be like, that's that bug juice make your hair grow. You know what I mean? But I think he saved hip hop in one verse, and I love what's going on, and I like the fact, like even Rick Ross coming back in 2 hours, just certain. That's just hip hop. So I love everything that's going on, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie, can't hate on it. I know J. Cole. As a fan, I'm wondering, does he regret jumping out of this game? Because right now it's like Hunger Games, and because everyone's in it. You know what I mean? I'm curious to know how, like, ASAP Rocky jumped in it.
Yeah, he also had a track on the Future album, delivering his shots. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the sport itself.
It's going down right now.
I love it. But that was one of the reasons why. Cause I'm a fan of the MCs, and I listen to battle rap. Shout out to Smack, the whole battle rap movement. And when I start watching that, and now that I'm seeing that, come to life, I feel like this is really hip hop, especially when we're keeping it on wax and not taking it as far as to the streets and anything. This is what's needed for the hip hop community.
Definitely.
But in my opinion. Ross came with a hard ass track. You know what I'm saying? I can't take nothing away from him. But I give Drake his props, because it's him versus everybody. He's not backing down. He ain't showing no signs of like, I'm scared. I gotta go get, I gotta go recruit an army. I need this many rappers on my side. He's just like, fuck it, I'll take you all on. You get what I'm saying?
And you gotta respect it.
Yeah, and I gotta respect it, because he's not ducking the smoke. That's what I'm saying. A lot of cats we done seen in hip hop get called out by certain cats, and they don't want the smoke. They'll use the narrative of, I'm not gonna say anything because that's just gonna put more fuel to the fire.
You can't really do that in rap. It's like a boxer in your weight class calling you out, and you got the title. You gotta defend your title. That when you call yourself the champ, that means you're saying you're the most alpha of all alphas. And that if somebody wants this title, you got to take it. And if somebody believes, and to me, anybody in hip hop that doesn't think they're the best MC shouldn't really consider themselves an MC.
Facts.
You consider yourself an entertainer. because it's like saying I'm a boxer and I don't think I could be the champ. So what you boxing for? If you're just doing it for the check, getting punched in your face, then it's hard to respect you and call you that. You're more like a journeyman, or you just getting beat up for a check. So to me, if you're an MC and you don't think you're the best, don't call yourself an MC. And if someone says they're the best lyrically in this sport, you supposed to go at them, because when they say they're the best, they're saying you're not the best, and that's where there becomes a misunderstanding, not a misunderstanding, but a clash of rams, of lions in the jungle, in the wild. There's the alpha, and then the young guy gets at the alpha until the alpha dies and loses in battle. That's what happens. The hyena, they eat the queen, they eat the head. It's almost imminent that if you're the champ, that you got to be the champ until somebody knocks you out. And that means unless you Floyd, then, at some point to quit, you got to lose.
Yeah.
And it don't seem like Drake's trying to lose. He ain't trying to quit. And if there was a discrepancy between Kendrick and Drake on who's the best, we gonna see. But they going back to back. They going back to back.
So let me ask your opinion.
It's like pow, pow, pow. It's like everybody got beef with each other. They shooting lyrical shots. But this is a great day in hip hop. It's a great week of hip hop.
This is like Drake's third rap beef, and it seems like he comes out unscathed through every other rap beef that he's had, from the Meek Mills. He also had another rap beef with someone else.
Who you think won the one with Pusha T?
Pusha came with it.
But yeah, I would say, listen, you're not in battle rap and fighting. It's not about winning every time. It's just keep fighting. So sometimes you take an L, you learn, and you come back.
But that's
so again, like when I said, I'll go back to the battles. Like when you strike first and you strike well, you won in that moment. But then somebody strike back, like we had to take over. Homie hit us with the ether, and then we threw a dud. And it went back and forth. You know what I mean? Some certain crews that we got into beefs with, we annihilated fast. I used to do mixtapes. Do you remember that mixtape that I had done called The Empire Strikes Back?
Of course.
We had so much beef. I said, look, we doing the whole tape, just dealing with everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was a general at lyrical beef. That's what I did. I was strategic. So I love it. You know what I mean? As long as it stays lyrical. As long as it stays lyrical, and I'm going to keep saying that. It's art, it's poetry, it's sport, it's beautiful. But as soon as people start to take it too serious, and if somebody get hurt, then I'm going to say it's corny.
Okay.
You understand? Because there's battles of crews where they talk about, what they smoking on back and forth. And it's not about how lyrical you are. It's really about who got killed.
Yeah.
That's a different kind of battle.
And it hits more than just the person that they're rapping.
What I believe is this could potentially make people approach things different. Rap is for rapping, and no one needs to get hurt. Preserve it, keep it as an art, and it'll be celebrated. Even down to the battle between Dipset and the Locks.
I like.
Now I didn't like that Dipset took that L, but it was great for hip hop.
Great.
No fights. It was about performing as well as lyrics. Like that's what I really want to see now. And if they're smart, imagine a tour of them doing battles, like their version of a versus, show for show. Let's see who got I want to see now who got the better show. So if I'm in it, this is me. I'm just throwing it in there.
Okay.
If I was in this war, I would be like, you know what? I'm not even going to do a record for you. I'm going to do an event, a show. I'm going to do a whole... So when we battle, we would get on the Hot 97 on that Summer Jam stage and give you a visual. You feel me?
See, but y'all were hitting
y'all
were hitting below the belt too.
We would tell the truth.
Yeah, I mean it's the truth.
See, in my battle world, you can't make nothing up. It all got to be the truth.
Okay.
I don't care how lyrical you are. It got to be truthful stuff said in a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how, like, so like a lot of, when the ether came out, I didn't respect because some of it wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But, you know, but I still got to say, he bugged them. Like, if you even don't even have the best rap, but you bother niggas so much that they start jumping out the window, then you won that battle. Because he bugged you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if he got you, it's a wrap.
Okay.
Now, during the week, what I like is, since the last time I saw you, my beard has grown out.
Mm-hmm.
But every day, you could see what I was doing while it was growing out. So I done left here and went to Gary to go see the mayor. My girl, Raquel, my wife, my son, Nicolette, went to 2 or 3 schools, did 2 or 3 shows, played the children's album, the book, you know, and got to ride the fire engines and all that. It's great to have someone you know that's a mayor, and knowing that that's a good dude that's going to help. I got to, you know, go to city council, talk to the mayor, and then bounce from a school, and then and then we did a show. Mm-hmm. So I made a commitment to stimulate the art district in Gary. So Booster came, pause, from Detroit, and Christian Bay came from Canada, pause, and Kitty Red came from Naptown, Indianapolis, and they pulled up. Generals from different places, different cities, got together, brought their armies over to Gary, and then Gary artists were able to perform. So they all performed together from different places, you know. So big shout out to the mayor, his wife, my man Sam, and we put the show together in literally a day. So it was like, come in, go do the schools, go to the mayor's office, and then go right to the show and bring and stimulate some culture. Wake up the next day, go to the schools, and then bounce over, because I told you I was bothered about the jails. I've been talking about it, and I'm not going to keep talking, you know? So while everybody's talking about all this other bubblegum shit and worried about other things that I don't believe are pressing, you know, we have to start not only talking about the fight, fighting the right fight. Yeah. We got to click up. Yeah. And, you know, it don't matter about what city you're from. We all one culture. So I was able to get with a principal that was able to tell me what was going on, and I was able to go in that jail, that kid's jail in Chicago twice. So I didn't need to go in there again. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to bring awareness to it because there's mold. Like literally, like I know what mold does. I had to move out my house in Beverly Hills that I love because of mold. I love that house, but the mold, they was like, yo, they tested it. It was like, you could die. It makes you sick. Mm-hmm. And I got kids. I'm like, it ain't worth it. I'm out. So those kids are in there breathing mold. And I made a mistake. I said they were drinking out of bath water. I mean, out of the mop water. They're getting water from the mop room where there's a lot of mold. Yeah. And it's still disgusting. Yeah. And it's modern day. And what was crazy is we went in there, and it's like I don't want to say a lobby, but a room where you call up to get in the elevator before you go in. So we was talking to them, and there was people out there. Because, you know, Fred Hampton Jr.'s son showed up, the chairman of the board. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the minister sent his people out there. So shout out to the minister. He always makes sure I'm all right no matter where I go. And especially if I'm over there. And they were scared. They thought we were going to start a riot. I had my kid with me and my girl. So, you know, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not going to go to a jail and get put in a jail. Mm-hmm. But they didn't want to let us up. And then they were like, yo, close the doors. You know, you got to close the doors. We closed it. They locked them shits. And they wouldn't let us out for a little while. Yeah, they wasn't taking the call. It was locked. And my son was sleeping in the car with security. But Rocky had come in to take pictures. So we all locked in that shit. So I'm calling. And the senators, like Aide was there talking to him. Like, yo, the senator said let him in. This is the order from the senator. They was not listening. I felt a sense of helplessness. I didn't like the smell and not having the choice to be able to leave that smell. Mm-hmm. And I didn't like that if my child felt uncomfortable, I wasn't there to make sure he was all right. So I'm like, yo, call the governor. And, you know, I'm trying to go live, but the service is now getting sketchy. Mm-hmm. So it turned into a situation for a second. But we all stayed cool, and we got out. They let us out. But it was definitely like shocking that they wouldn't let us in, and also shocking that the news wasn't there. You know, shocking to me that I just think more people that are, have public, they got cameras on them, should kind of be a little worried about it and do something and bring awareness to it as well. And it's not like I want to have a beef. I just want things to change.
Mm-hmm.
So I have no choice now but to, start calling out some names, because I just do believe that, number one, the kids are going to die from the mold.
Yeah.
I think the kids got to get tested, but also the people working in there will die from the mold, and they have to protect themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So all kind of ways.
So do you think that situation was treated more of a situation like, they're already youth offenders and
I think it's a big scam. I think, $1 million per kid is getting distributed for rehabilitation, and that's not where the money's going.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely not going in repairing nothing. And I don't believe that, it's like whoever owns that building is a slumlord, because I don't believe that that building is up to code.
Mm-hmm.
And that if a health inspector came in there and checked the mold, I just honestly believe that they would make them shut it down. I don't think it would be up to code, and they wouldn't be able to open up until it was up to code. And I believe if a kid dies or somebody from the staff gets sick or dies or gets cancer from it, they're going to have a serious lawsuit. So I just think on all accounts, I think what happens is budgets get distributed, but they don't check on how they get spent.
Yeah, I mean, well,
it's obvious, because the senator that cuts the check, she came down there and she didn't know. She was like, I'm the one that cut the check. So I'm mad because I'm thinking it's going to helping these kids, and it's not. And when you go down there to do a spot check, they don't let you in. So for me, it would make sense that there would be someone policing them. Cameras should be in those every spot, but not being policed by the warden, by someone that's policing the warden.
I mean, but
and also education, like the money, like usually for a school, a principal's in control of how the money's spent. At a jail, the warden's in control of how the money's spent. So as it relates to education, they're not doing what's in the best interest of education because they don't know. They're doing what's in the best interest of de-escalation, and it seems like saving money. But it just seems like that money going somewhere. But if it's not going to cleaning and updating the facility and education, and all I see there is drugs and dirt, that means it's going to drugs and someplace else.
But that's
because it ain't going to gourmet food.
But that's for the majority of the prisons in itself in the whole around the country. Because even with me, I've been one of those guys that I was incarcerated for years, and I seen the conditions that were presented to us from, and it's not just one prison. It was also numerous different prisons that I was being sent to, being shipped to. We have a couple prisons down here where guys were getting their teeth knocked out of their mouth just because they were from a certain part of Florida, and people were dying up here. I mean, they literally had a graveyard behind this prison.
Yo, bro, once them doors locked, no one could see you. And that's the problem. It's like, once them doors close, the people that aren't behind those doors should be able to watch.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to see them with modern, and the way you can see how you can see a crime when it's not in the jail. So why you can't? You got satellites everywhere to see what's going on in the street. I don't know how you even commit a crime. You know where the easiest place to commit a crime right now seems to be? In a jail.
Yeah.
So once you close those doors, you subject to the person that is got the keys, and it's not a person that's monitored. And the recidivism rate, meaning when you go out and you come back in, like when you go to jail, come back to jail, it's at a high rate, 90s. The reason why is because they want you to come back.
Well,
see, a jail ain't nothing but a hotel with bars, and your intention when you own a hotel is to keep it occupied.
Mm-hmm.
And the budgets for most prisons is over $1 million a bed.
Facts.
$88,000 a month per prisoner is crazy. You should be able to do a lot. Trust me, that's like, I know what it is to spend $88,000 a month in bills. You can have a good life.
Mm-hmm.
you should not be struggling. You should have the best doctors, the best medicine, the best education.
Facts.
In essence, you should have the resources of a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
But it should all go into rehabilitation. And maybe making it to where when you go out, you don't come back. But if they don't come back, they lose most of their business.
But they're not setting us up with any type of programs to get us transition out.
They don't want you to transition out. They want you to come back. So, again, if you don't know how to read by the time you're in the third grade, literally they build a jail cell for you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not in the world for 10 years, that's like not having an education for 10 years. If you don't have a place to live, 80% of people that don't have a place to live come right back to the jail. So you don't have to, imagine not having a place to live. You're not allowed to get money while you're in the jail, right? So you have no money, no education about what's going on in the last 10 years, and you're not healthy because they're not giving you any alternative to eat good food, and you're highly traumatized because you just got through living with a bunch of niggas all day and getting beat up, and being abused a certain way, and this kind of thing. And then they put you back on the street.
Yeah, they're not giving.
They're basically making you a criminal. Exactly. So what I saw in that jail is the mass production of killers. So for people to have to numb a sense of, number one, not being scared to be in jail, getting used to a certain condition, and programming them to come back and be a repeat customer. And that's what I saw, and that's what I see, and it seems intentional. So I don't ask why. I'm just like, yo, now that it's up, fix it. That's all.
But that's what I mean. Like,
you gotta fix it. There's so many black lawmakers, public officials. Again, decisions can't just be made. Laws don't get passed by one person unless there's an executive order. But it has to be a lot of different people. Let's get together and really deal with shit on a logical level. Why do these kids have to breathe this air? Why would you put them back on the street with a third grade education? Why would you drug them up and make them impotent and then send them right back to class while they're on drugs, and a drug that they could only get in jail?
Because the majority of these lawmakers are owners of these prisons and jails that are being built.
Well, then that's what needs to be checked. And it's for us to check it. So if we know what's happening, and again, it wasn't like I'm the police. I just asked to go in. It's a public place. I went in and did what I called a wellness check. And what I saw wasn't well. And, these kids are traumatized, but the shit they're going through, it's like, imagine seeing a little kid with 3 bodies, and got 40 years. He's a kid.
Yeah.
Your brain's not even developed when you were a kid. You're just doing what you trained to do at that point.
Facts.
Ain't no kid coming out a killer.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
And the only reason why is because that's the only way they think they can survive.
I mean, it's set up that way because, it comes first from the streets of being on welfare, dealing with less, not having more opportunities. As you see right now that some kids are being put in public schools and not even being taught. They're just being accounted for. So now when you get to the prisons, it's like you said, this cell was already built for them. But majority of the lawmakers, majority of athletes, majority of celebrities, they are building these prisons just for us because...
Let me tell you something. If any celebrity would just take the time to walk through one of those facilities, they would get involved. It's just that people are out of sight. Like, you've been in jail. So if you don't really have people that really care about you, they forget about you.
For sure.
And that's what happens. It's like, again, they're cutting checks, but they don't check on where the money's being spent. It's just... if I could put a camera on these and you could see the conditions, I'm telling you, the women that have gone, when they come out, they cry. In there, they cry. The lady, the aide, the citizen's aide, Rocky had to hold her down. She had a full panic attack because she had went up there before. The shit really, really disturbed her. Yeah. So if you don't get these kids any therapy, if you don't get them, they don't have any outdoor space. Literally, there's no windows. There's some kids in there that haven't been outside in a year. Like, even though they might have done crimes, they still should be doing sports. A kid needs that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you ain't get them, huh?
Back in the day, that was one of the things that were set up for us as blacks. But as time progressed and they seen that it was a revolving door, or they made it a revolving door and they set up a part of the system. Like, you got to look at a lot of the recreational things that they take away from us in prison to even try to say, you know, for me to get through a day. Most guys like to work out. They take weights out of the prison. You have some guys that like to drink their coffee and, you know, smoke a cigarette, anything. They took all that away.
Why not give them a garden, right? And grow a petting zoo.
It's too much. It's too much right. It's too right. That they don't want, because they, like you said, it turns into a business when you don't want to give them anything for them to progress where you can't feel that cell again. That's why they're keeping them in that mind frame to say, I want to strip you of everything so you have no choice but to come back. I was one of the few percentiles that, you know, thank God I never went back to prison, because I stood in the mirror the day that I got out. I did 3 years mandatory. And the day that I got out, I told myself, I looked myself in the mirror and said I wasn't coming back. I put it in my mind that they're getting free labor off of me, so why can't I go out here and get a job? I changed the narrative myself. A lot of that has to do with, what do you want for yourself? But we can't depend on them. It has to first start with us. We can't depend on them to provide programs to try to teach us. But we already know it's a business.
They're never going to help.
No.
We have to help ourselves. So once we're aware of it, it's for us to change the dynamic. Hey, hold on. Hey, hey, Rocky and Nicolette, it's 3:40.
She said she know.
So what happened? Let me know. Sorry about that.
So like, in the prisons that I have been through and been to, I've watched, you know, guys go in but never make it home. All over prison politics. They want us to survive in there without nothing at all. It becomes what the extortion becomes. You know, nobody's got no one looking out for them on the street. So it's like, yo, I'm gonna build a force in here, and I'm gonna take from the weak. And that's what happens. They prey upon the weak in there. You know, in any prison that is, you have to stand on your own. I mean, yeah, we did the crime, but a lot of people are not making it home, or not coming home the same way that they went in. And that's because they're not providing anything for us to get better at. You know, they're not providing a GED. They're not providing job skills. They're not having counselors and people to come sit down and give us structure and work our way back into society. It's just they're throwing us out the same way that we live in there. I mean, there are many times, like, I was at camps that was so infested with fleas, gnats, and everything, because we were right next to a dog pound that was part of your food. I mean, like, you literally go to the chow hall and see gnats and fleas flying on your food, and, you know, you turn to them and say, man, what is this? And they be like, oh, that ain't nothing but protein. I promise you, I swear to God. I swear to God, those are the things that are being said to us. So it's like, yes, we do need to come together, but it's those that are our kind that are sitting there building more prisons because it's a business for them now. They don't care, you know, everything is about business. They
like
don't
I
care.
said, if the public saw it, they would not let it go down. I promise you. It's like, again, you don't think that it's wrong because you might have committed a crime and it's just been going on like that. It's unrecognized trauma. The doors are shut, they locked. Right. They're not letting nobody know what's going on in there. There's no cameras on that no one else can see what's happening. Mm-hmm. No one's monitoring. The people that are cutting the checks aren't going to see where they're being spent. No. But it's for us, now that we're aware of it, to make some time. Like, if every celebrity from every market took the time to walk through the kids' jail, I bet you the jail would know that there's some accountability. There's a lot. I believe that, you know, there would be some change as far as even the way they teach them, the way the therapy. It's just, as a human being, if you see certain things, even though you may be scared to get fired, you're going to have to feel a way, like you got to help. But what happens in these environments is no one says anything because they're scared to get fired. The principal was scared to talk to me because he was scared to get fired, but he couldn't take it no more. Every day he's scared to get fired. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, but all the other people that work there, they can't afford. Like, think about
So they're gonna just go with the
Yeah, nobody wants to be, you know, in an environment that's so miserable unless it's for some money. You know what I mean? So if you need a job, you're like, I'm gonna look the other way because you don't feel like you can help anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But karmically, I think that gets you as well because you become just as affected as the people that are there because you're there. Whether you behind the like for me, if I hate jail, which I do, I'm not gonna be a CO where I gotta go into a jail every day because I don't like being in a jail.
Mm-hmm.
But some people do that solely because they got to get paid. It's a job.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why you got to choose to do something. Like even when you make music, if you make music about killing, then your audience and the people that you perform in front of, they're going to be killers.
True.
So that's why I tend to try to do music that gives a different, you know, picture right now. So I attract those kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm talking about education, educators and people that want to be educated are going to be the ones that come around. Mm-hmm. They know what type of time I'm on.
Yeah.
You know? But my point is we have to start leveraging our celebrity, not to talk about it, but to be about it.
To do something about it.
To do something about it.
I agree 1,000%.
Everybody be talking and shit, but I don't be seeing nobody doing nothing. But I be there, you know, and I don't have to be. But I do have to be, because I've seen it. You can't unsee that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can't unsee it.
I think for the most part, other than celebrities, you have a lot of people that want to contribute to the cause, but they feel like because they have been there, they're failing, it's only going to allow so much that they can do, or only so far that their voice is going to impact and make a change.
Awareness from a popular person is a big deal. You know, public perception, you know, the things that people actually see are way different than the stuff that they don't even hear about. You know, not forgetting to see. You know what I'm saying?
But I think the hip hop culture plays a bigger part in it because the message that is being sent right now is that we're killing each other and you're not real if you haven't been to jail or prison. We have to stop that first.
Well, whoever thinks that is not the brightest.
No, but I mean that is what's being led upon because you look at some of the bigger artists that we have on the platform, from the Kodak Blacks to the NBA Youngboys, like their whole career has been based on in and out of jail, and these are who the kids are falling behind, and this is what they want to do. Now, those two guys are going through real life situations. I can attest to say that they're not doing this shit on purpose to be cool, but because they're under that scrutiny, just like the whole hip hop culture has been under scrutiny with the so-called hip hop police. We're targeted.
The issue with that is that the people that are distributing their music are not from our culture, and whether those kids die or not, the label that signed them or signed with them because of whatever insurance they got, life insurance.
Yeah, they're putting big life insurance policies on these guys.
They gotta get paid regardless. So for me, again, if an artist gets with me and I know that they're doing things that are gonna get them put in jail, or they're doing things that I know aren't good, I'm not doing nothing with that artist if they still active. That would be my choice. Just like it was my choice not to sign an artist if they were in a production deal or if they were getting robbed. You know what I mean? That was just my choice. Now, I could have looked the other way and signed the artist even though some manager was taking their publishing and, you know, too much of their tour and the ancillary things. But I just couldn't look the other way, you know? So from Young Chris and Neef to Bleak.
Beans.
Well, I don't know if Beans, like those were actually artists that were in bad production deals, and I wouldn't sign them until they got their shit situated.
No, I was gonna ask, like with Beans, like he was one of your artists at the time on the state property that seemed to have a lot of legal trouble at the time. What was your take, and how did you get him to see the bigger picture and, you know, try to keep him out of that? Was that a task within itself? Because that's what I'm saying with the culture, it seems like
there wasn't nothing I could do. He was that's why I called them state property. He was always in jail. So, you know, every second that we were doing business, it seemed like Beans had a case. Or I had to I'd be the guy that have to really go and take a jet to go hand them over to the feds. So they didn't embarrass him, or, going to a trial every day, driving up from New York 2 hours to make sure he was supported, because, he had 10 murders.
Yeah.
Going through full trials. I never could, get him out of that. I didn't succeed in that.
No, but it seemed like at the height of his career, where he was, I believe, I feel it in the air was dropping. It was a different side of him we was able to see. Like, he was finally getting
he was on trial.
The message, yeah.
So what happened was, because, he wasn't sure if he was going to beat that case. So he was like, all right, he'll probably have to do about 5 to 7 years or whatever. 10 murder. So I wanted to make sure he had 5 albums. So every year,
still release.
Because what happens is you go gold, you got a budget of $1 million. So at least I can make sure I can give him $1 million every year. I was actually mad. That's when I first started getting real mad at Kanye, because I wanted Kanye to give him a 10 or 20 clip of beats. Because all I would need, so I just wanted years of videos and.
Like you say that word, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing about In the Air, which is crazy, I had Mariah Carey on that record. Like, Mariah Carey literally came to my crib, and we talked to Beans, and I made it happen.
That's something I never heard, yo.
Yeah, and she went and laid it. I remember when she was in Italy and sent it back to me, and Beans took her vocals off and put this other younger girl on there that was down with us. That girl that's on it.
Yeah.
She took Mariah Carey's spot.
Damn. I mean, it was still a hit, but that would have been even more crazy.
It wasn't a hit. I mean, it was a good record.
Yeah.
But it didn't get the hit. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it would have been some prophecy. I think if because the girl could sing, but it wasn't Mariah Carey.
Yeah.
And literally Mariah Carey sent the vocals. He didn't use the vocals.
So let me ask.
So it probably would have hit more pop culture with Mariah Carey.
So with all that's going on in Chicago and everything that you went out there, and what you're trying to do at this point, what would be the main message that we need to, as a culture and a community, and what narrative do we need to push so we can stop these type of things from happening to our younger generation? Because it's like, with that happening to youth offenders, it kind of gives them a thought process that as if they don't have a shot at life. How can we change that narrative for them?
You gotta educate them, teach them how to dream. That's what I'm doing. So that's why I'm going personally. I'm going hand in hand, going into the schools, and I'm teaching these kids how to dream. And I'm teaching their teachers how to dream. And I'm teaching their principals how to dream. Myself. So that's how we have to teach people that there's another route other than doing what you only see. Because that's, again, something that happens over and over and over again is intentional. So if you don't change it, then how can you expect a different result? So you got to approach it different.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Period.
That's true.
Period.
And I agree 1,000%. Not to too much get off the subject, I want to get back into talking about this rap beef. I had someone ask me a question with, Drake being the only guy, I would say within the last 10 years that's been in multiple beefs. And it seems every time you turn around, someone has a beef about him, and he's dropping a diss track, they're dropping a diss track, and he's not going to lay up. Would you call him today's 50 Cent as far as the beef status of going through it with other artists, other industry artists, things of that nature? Because at one point in time, that was we know that's not who Drake is and what his music is all about and what he puts out there. But it just seems like it keeps coming at him, keep following him around. So
Is there a heavyweight champion without somebody trying to get his title? So he's had the title for a while.
Yeah.
So niggas want that title. And that's the only way you're going to get it. Yeah. If you want to take a block, you got to clean it up. You got to get up out of here. It's my block now. That was the move that I think I saw Kendrick make in them. Like, yo, you hogging the block up.
I
you know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Like, and Drake's like, well, I'm not ready to leave.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm not mad at it.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, let the games begin.
Yeah,
somebody needs that block. Me too.
Yeah, I'm fucking with that because
as long as they keep it on vinyl, we good.
Yeah, because, you know, the reason why I feel like it's great for hip-hop is because, like you said, they're keeping it on the vinyl. They're keeping it on wax. For the past couple of years with this drill rapping, you know, I have nothing against these rappers, never met a lot of them, but the promotion of just killing people over nonsense, not even over politics or even solid things. It's just, hey, you my op. I don't care if you my cousin, you live on this side, you a op. I got to shoot you.
That's the program.
Yeah.
That's being pushed a little bit by people that aren't from our culture, as opposed to the education and the alternative to that. You know, that's why we have to make a different algorithm. So, you know, I've been doing a lot of interviews, even the one I did with that, what's the name of that one? The one I just did in Fort Lauderdale where the dude was asking about Aaliyah.
Oh,
PD, yeah. And, you know, for me, I want to make a new algorithm. I got there, and the homie was cool, but I wasn't expecting to be talking about the things we were talking about. I thought it was a business.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, I thought the guy was a cool, good conversation, but it just made me wonder why someone, because I asked him, he asked me what my net worth was. I said, what's yours? And he was like, you know, $500 million or something. I'm like, and so why are you on camera doing all this work and not talking about business, talking about things that seem to be sort of clickbaitish? You know, as if, you know, it's like, what's the purpose? So, you know, I want to kick it with him. I want to talk to him. I want to see, you know, what he's really about, Pauls. Because a lot of times, and I said this, sometimes I hear people's questions, but I judge the question by the nature of the person. So if you smart and you asking me something dumb, then I want to know why. You know what I mean? If you rich and you acting broke, I want to know why. I'm just, you know, I want to know because there's always something under the hood. So I'm just curious to know, you know, why someone with that much bread, you know, would be asking questions like this, or, you know, basing stuff on what could be considered clickbait, or why even working now, or like it should be more for fun. I can't see how anything he's doing could be making anywhere near the money that, you know, that he said he made. So it was funny to me that you know, he was asking me about things. I almost felt interrogated, like as if he could be the police. Yeah. But that's what, whenever like my PST, if I get on a podcast publicly, but you know, like Vlad, I just assume he's a cop. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just assume it.
Just the shit that he does.
And just because of the questions he asks. Yeah. Like when you ask questions that you know could get somebody in trouble, to me, you're trying to get him in trouble.
And you've done that time and time over.
And you keep doing it. Yeah. And you keep trying to bring. And I didn't think homie asked me any questions. He just was asking me shit that like did the feds pull up on me and all this? I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like he thought that I knew more than I did. And I am seeing that with these interviews. Like, people say shit, and then people end up in court or with cases. Yeah. And it be based on what, like even with Ryan Garcia. I remember you asked me, I said, yo, he needs to stop fucking around and get to boxing. And sometimes he sounds crazy, but that earthquake happened. And for what I understood, and maybe I'm bugging, maybe he didn't, but I saw it on TikTok. You never know. But it sounded like he had said that there was going to be an earthquake in New York, and the shit actually happened. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But, so I'm like, and so a lot of times when people start to, like, you look at them like they're crazy or they seem loose with the lips, and then a month later there's really a court case about it. It's like when the Inquirer says some wild shit, and then, you know, 6 months later it actually happens. How crazy is the Inquirer? How truthful is it then? You know, I'm hearing a lot of shit, and when they start asking certain questions in public, I'm like, Are they lining niggas up? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so, I don't know.
Johnson, real quiet this little bit of this interview. I got some questions I wanted to ask you. So, I know your stance on the jail topic we was talking about, but more of this hip hop beef that we have brewing and we have going on. I think I would want to know what would be 3 of your top, we would say, diss tracks or beef songs that you think made an impact on hip hop, but not in a bad way, but in a good way.
Well, before I say anything, when Dave said something about this is good for hip hop, and when you really look at it, it's great for hip hop. Mm-hmm. Not only just because throughout history, hip hop originated from New York, uptown, you know. So we used to see the New York niggas battle all the time. Yeah. And we used to see the West Coast niggas battle all the time. Yeah. Now we live in a time where you see New York niggas, West Coast niggas, down south niggas. Yeah. You know, not everybody's getting in the mix. Mm-hmm. To me, that's never been done in hip hop history. Yeah. Rick Ross jumping in. Mm-hmm. You know, you got guys from West Coast. You know, mm-hmm. I'm like, this is like a new birth for the new hip hop, and I'm loving it. Yeah, you know, I'm loving it because everybody now, because we live in a time, everybody do have a voice, everybody do have an opinion. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's public, then it's belong to everybody.
But I mean, like, to those that are new, because we grew up in the era where, you know, we've experienced plenty different hip hop diss tracks, beefs, and everything like that, and there were a lot of them to me that I thought were great for hip hop. There are numerous that were bad for hip hop, the way that it went, you know, kind of too much off the vinyl and took it to the streets and people lost their lives. Like, you know, I'm not talking about like, shout out the Young and Ace, one of the, you know, I listened to him, but he made a song a couple years ago called Who I Smoke, and it was just talking about, you know, guys from the neighborhood who they smoked or who got smoked or who got killed, and they were talking about what they would have done to them, and I thought that was very offensive because those people have mothers and fathers and family members that this song is getting played over millions and millions of times, and you got to think about the hurt that brings to the family. So I'm not talking about that type of diss track. I mean, like, that was just, you know, cats kept it on vinyl. It never got further than what it was supposed to. Like, one of my favorite, I think, was the T.I. and Lil Flip beef. You know, I heard the Down with the King, and he dropped a whole, like, mixtape of getting at Flip, and Flip dropped the whole mixtape of getting at him, and I think that was one of the first down south beefs that were brewing when hip-hop just totally opened itself up. And I would say that was a good one for the game because you know what started happening after that? T.I. had a song called Jackin' for Beats, and he was just flipping each beat, but not stopping his flow. And I think that, you know, that was one of the things that started making cats, like, not scared to drop mixtape or feeling like you didn't need a producer to drop a mixtape and things like that. So that's what I thought was one of the more pivotal rap beefs. You know, like I said, it's not real beef to where people are hurting each other. You know what I'm saying? I like the one where we keep it just hip hop with the lyricism, and you know what I'm saying? And like Dame said, also truth. So that's why I was asking you
when it comes to that, first one that popped in my mind, to be honest with you, I have to go back with Tupac.
Hit him up, of course.
I gotta go back with Tupac.
Of course.
He was able to be lyricist about it and also be street about it at the same time. You know, at that time, I've never seen anything like that. Mm-hmm. Somebody can be poetic on what they're saying, but yet they hit you with a punchline and cut you deep about stuff that's really going on. Uh-huh. Talk about your girl, what he did and all that. You know, that right there. That's number one for me.
That's number one.
You know, for me.
Okay.
You know, that's number one because he was such a big icon when it comes to the hip hop world. And for him to do that, but yet actually being a sex appeal while he's still doing it,
I feel like that was one of the rap beefs that wasn't just because a lot of the raps back and forth I used to hear coming back. What was that one KRS one? The Bridge is Over. When I first started hearing rap beefs, it was like over boroughs. You feel what I'm saying? Like New York, they were keeping it like that. I never had, and then I heard the Ice Cube versus NWA, No Vaseline. There's been numerous rap beefs where cats didn't take it to the street, no one got hurt, that I felt was healthy for hip hop. But that one that you're talking about, the hit 'em up beef, I think that was more, coastal. It was from one coast to the other coast, to where now you see that all of America was invested in hip hop at the time.
Of course, and also 50 Cent.
Ja Rule.
50 Cent.
Okay.
That goes down in history.
Yeah, but it wasn't for hip hop. That was like some real shit that was happening in the streets. You feel what I'm saying?
But it was hip hop in a way because 50 Cent, till this day, people copy what he did. Till this day, people still try to do what he's doing. Okay. Just like earlier you mentioned, like, do you feel like Drake is the new 50 Cent?
Yeah.
It's because it was iconic what he did.
Yeah.
I don't think Drake the new 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Because Drake don't really troll nobody.
Yeah.
Drake just
I don't know. Now that light skin.
I mean,
Drake. What we said about the pretty boys, man, on them light skinned, hot yellow motherfuckers, man. We said about them.
But
we gotta
like,
watch them cats. They think they always coming back in style. You know what I'm saying?
50 would take your beat, your song, and just make it his.
Okay.
And he made a whole career out of that.
Okay.
To the point where people haven't even listened to your track no more.
So yours would be the hit 'em up. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a hip hop head. I'm one of them old hip hop heads where I remember a lot of, where we just kept it on wax, whether it was the LL Cool J and Cannabis, whether it was the Beanie and Jada Kiss, whether it was I just like when we keep it on wax, you know what I'm saying, because it kind of pushes your skills to see if you're just a certain type of rapper or if you're an all-around rapper. We've had a lot of those rap beefs where, people were hurt, and those are the ones that I don't think is good for hip-hop because, like, even with the Jeezy and Gucci Man beef, someone lost their life in that. You feel what I'm saying? And it wasn't on something to where they needed to lose their life, but they were just playing parts. They were picking sides. So what I'm saying is hip hop beef or so-called beef necessary for hip hop?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lyrical.
Lyrical.
It's an element of hip hop. It's like it's for boxing, you got to fight. Mm-hmm. It's one on one. It's just part of the game of hip hop. Like hip hop as a like real hip hop. Yeah. If you really in hip hop, like if you're a real killer, you're gonna do things a certain way. You in the game. Mm-hmm. Now you might just have to kill somebody because it's self-defense. You're not in the killing game. There ain't no rules that come with it. But when you in hip hop, you an assassin. That's your job, to be dead nice and get anybody that think they better than. That's what hip hop's always been. But that's where I come from. Yeah. So you gotta remember, like, we was running up, Jay ran up on LL, and so like we used to run up on them. Yeah. Like, we had Jay and DMX.
I heard about the DMX in the J pool table.
I was there. What I'm saying? I set it up.
Yeah.
So I'm about that battling, and and then battling someone on the pool table, and then going on tour with them. Years later. Throughout the world, that's how it's necessary. It's just part of the game. Yeah. Like boxers aren't supposed to be trying to kill each other after they get out the ring. No. Football players don't go and try to hurt each other after they stop playing football, and they be physically tagged. Yeah. So why are you talking with someone should turn into something physical when people could punch each other in the face and after it's over, say what's up and do business with each other? Yeah. Like Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De La Hoya. Facts.
And people have to understand the difference between hip hop and rap.
Well, it's ego. Some people take it too serious.
That's the part that but when it comes to hip hop is really about your skills.
That's all it's about.
Yeah, rapping, like when it comes to like the street rap, they just rap, making songs. But real hip hop is, and like you say, you know what? You got the throne. Hey, I want to get where you at.
So
I want to take your throne.
So
My skills out.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask
Drake
this
is
question.
able. With Drake is like Murder Mook is with us, right?
Yeah.
And he's a battle rapper, but he hasn't been able to catch that hit single.
Yeah.
So the fact that
battle
artists like LL Cool J could battle rap and still make a record, or the fact that Drake could be in a battle but still make a hit record.
Yeah. A song with it.
That's where there's a versatility kind of thing. Like if he can make a hit record and he can battle, that's why you have to give a certain amount of props. And he has that I'm not having it attitude, or he seems like he's petty, meaning not petty in a way where like if somebody fuck with him and lyrically, he seems like he don't stop till he get at him. Mm-hmm. He don't want to take an L, but who wants to take an L? You know what I mean? So to me, win or lose, it's about how hard you fight.
Yeah.
So with the j.cole thing, to me, it was like, damn, he stopped fighting. But I like that. So I like that. Like even with Rick Ross, he's like, I don't care how old I am, we fight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna call my name.
Shout out to
the sound. The sound came through,
So let me ask you this: who's, in your opinion, right now, Dan? Who's winning?
Kendrick.
Who's winning?
I mean Kendrick, cause he really do little, but did a lot. He'll hit about 8 bars, 12 bars, and he done.
He hit him with the surprise attack. Yeah. So right now, a lot of what's going on is going to be expected. So he caught that surprise. He swung first, and he connected. So that was that thing when I was getting ready to have a fight with Steve Stout. I was like, if he even hits me, he gonna win.
Yeah,
even if I watch him, there's gonna be a loss there. You know what I'm saying? Like if he catches me one time,
it don't matter that you beat him. Like
I knock this nigga out. My friends are gonna be laughing like Steve Stout still knocked you. He smacked you.
Yeah, he still hit you one time.
He still caught that surprise, swung on him, and caught all of them. And the win is that he started the war. He's the reason for all this. Yeah. And it's been a domino effect. Mm-hmm. So if his intention was to get hip hop going again, he did that.
Oh, he did that.
And for that, I'm giving him the lean pause and the fact that he reacted for the 1-2 like real fast the next day with Drake and them. And I'm curious to see what else Drake gonna do. And he did make somebody throw in the white flag without a verse. And was able to say it. Like that meant he was like,
I love this shit.
That meant that when j.cole did that, he was like, I thought so. That's what he said. He's like, nigga, I make niggas stop. I don't have to say a word.
Yeah, see, we got one out the way.
So he's like, he's gone. So in Hunger Games, j.cole was the first one to get picked off.
Yeah.
And Rick's in the game. Pause, Rick Ross. But
ASAP rocking too now.
ASAP's in the game.
So.
But I can say this is, as far as swag goes, I would say I'm going to give Harlem, ASAP, and all of them. As far as the swag, I got to lean toward.
So who has the best diss track? We know swag. You're going to shout out Harlem. Me, far as the swag comes, like, I give it to Drizzy because, like I said, he ain't backing down. Most niggas I done seen a lot of times that get called out in the game, sometimes they run or one diss song can just end their career from just laying down or feeling like they don't have to respond. So, Johnson, who in your eyes, who had the better diss?
I gotta give it to what's his name, Kendrick, because it was just a one pop pop pop. It was out of there. He just was gone.
Kendrick.
Right now.
I hit somebody with a nice movie, you pop them real good. That's what Kendrick did. But when I really think about it, what Drake did, he actually opened up the spectrum. He didn't call out one person, he called out everybody.
Well, did you even hear that when he called out John Moran?
He called out
everybody.
I'm talking about,
he called out John Moran too.
Bro, he called out. He said even the nigga that do.
No, I ain't gonna lie. He did his big one like he.
You know what I'm saying?
He came out Scarface like I gotta respect that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, Kendrick
had that one.
Drake was just throwing blows.
Who has the better diss to you?
I like Kendrick, but right now after I analyze everything, man,
Who's leading?
I feel like Drake right now actually just kind of. With Drake, there's a question mark. It's always a surprise.
Yeah, but
there's always a surprise.
But still, even though he's fighting two people,
Ross dropped some shit.
Rick Ross is kind of funny.
That's my pick right now. Like,
so it's like he's still
he
catching
took it
him.
back to the mafia music days.
He
for
hitting
me.
him there, but he catching one there and he pop. Poof,
Yeah.
so he going through it right now. I
It's
respect it though. Yeah, it's a war. Let's go.
Let's
I like
go.
that. You know, it's a good war.
So basically, you said Rick Ross hit him with
I think
was that a sucker
Yeah,
punch?
no, he
I
do
mean,
it.
the thing is, like, it's just certain things are funny. So, like, you know, him saying the shit about his mom, and being in the car
because he has experienced beef.
He just, you know, he's an experienced addict. So,
Yeah.
Shout out to the boss.
like, it's almost and then you know, 50 got his little.
Yeah.
So it's on. It's
It's
up.
on. It's up.
If you ain't really about that, don't get in that war.
Like
right?
I said,
Leave that war
Drake
alone.
throwing blows, but what Rick Ross and Kendrick did, they hit shots.
That's the fight.
You know what I'm saying?
It's the fight of the
They
Titans.
shot,
though.
bro.
These are strong blocks
Oh yeah.
with generals
Respect.
with armies that are
Rick's
getting at it.
millionaires too.
Hey, so
Yeah,
now
so-
that we know that ASAP Rocky dropped his name in the hat, and I think one of the shots that he threw, maybe on the next episode we could bring that up and say, okay, now we can settle and say who had the best shots. You know, barbershop talk.
But that Kendrick Lamar came back, bro.
Yeah, I like the way it ignited the beef. This is for hip hop.
The beat came out, it got that old school hip hop to it, and you know the punchline he
came
to
with
it.
that
Motherfuckers,
Whoa,
the big
Oh,
three, nigga.
man.
It's just big
That
three.
shit, it ain't just got me chill, bro. I ain't gonna lie, it gave me chill, man. It's been so long. He kept
Yeah.
that flow going, and he like,
Yeah.
man, I'm done with him right
Yeah.
now. I already got him out the way. Ain't no coming back from him. He like, oh yeah, he already done.
But shout out to all the rappers who did that big one and keeping it on wax. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is something that the hip hop community need, and you're also showing them how to handle beef. That it doesn't always have to go outside to the guns in the street. You know what I'm saying? We're just lyrical performers, and you know, we're just saying like who's nicer. And
But it would
that's
be
what
dope
this
if they
thing
go
about.
on tour together and then go show for show
No.
and make some bread. That would be hard. You know what I mean? That would make sense.
And one thing about this, also I realized that's
Unless they
us.
really hate each other like that.
That's us taking the industry back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's us taking our
control
culture
of it, yeah.
and take control of what we do. Then let somebody else capitalize on black on black crime.
So this is
crime
my
on
thing.
crime.
You see how rappers are going at each other? I'm going CEO beef. Where you at, Leo? Where you at, Steve Stout? I'm calling out names. Whatever y'all want, let's talk it out. Cause I'm not a rapper. I got problems with, you know, certain people because they've conspired, said wrong things, take advantage and exploit. That's my beef. I got different kinds of problems and issues with different kinds of people. But there's a rap beef and there's a business beef. You know, so that's what I do. I do CEO beef. Boom. I get a CEO.
Where
You know
you
what I
at?
mean? That's why when they
Where
be
you
trying to
at?
be like me and homie, I'm like, he's a rapper. I'm not dealing with him.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I'm not a rapper that pretends
Sure.
I'm a CEO.
Y'all see?
I'm a CEO that be pretending I'm a rock star.
Y'all hear
You know what I'm
this?
saying?
Y'all
That's
got
really
it
what I do.
live
And
first.
Man going to the prison.
Chopping it up.
I'm
Outside.
outside.
Where you
Outside
at?
the prison. Outside the prison.
We are
Yeah, let me.
Stout, whoever.
Whatever, let's go.
My CEO say, where you at? Let's bring the seat. Let's do business. You know what I'm saying? I love this
Without
shit,
sucker
man.
shit, no cheating.
No sucker shit.
If you made $1 from cheating, it don't count.
Facts.
And I bet you broke now.
Facts.
If you make $1 from cheating, if you go dollar for dollar, fair dollar, ain't nobody got more bread than you.
What's up?
But I don't take the sucker dollar. I don't get the dollar for the devil. The devil
This
got to
is
pay
what
me.
I'm talking
that
about.
ain't no real money.
This is what I'm talking
Want
about.
some real good money? Give me a good money battle. I bet you ain't I got that much good money.
Hey, Dave, how we letting out the shot? Kapow, 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 kapow.
He got an AK.
All over.
Hey man, this is another episode of Chopping It Up. Got the mogul, got the barber, man. You got Relate to Great, man. American New Network, man. We always give you the rough, rugged, and raw. Never hold back any punches. That's why we're #1 in trending at all times. Even when we inside, we outside. We been declared that we outside. Dame, we made our statement. We ready for war. feel what I'm saying? American New Network,
We've been
chopping
fighting.
it up, man. We fighting, man.
Every time I get back in this chair, I just came back from doing a little battle. Blah,
They changed the game.
Yeah.
shut the jail
So
down.
where
Go
you
to
cats
school.
at? Where you cats at? We calling them out.
Mhm.
American